Hey guys, I'm back. It's Bavna from Boho Snips. So I'm feeling a lot better today, and I thought I would actually pop on the camera and go on to part 2 of the No Sew journal. So this is what we're going to create, but it's going to be actually using the papers that we used the texture paste on. So it's papers from a Indian book, which is all about traveling in India. And we actually use the texture paste to do some stenciling on with the homemade stencils. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to show you what to do next. So I've chosen my papers. So I've got some tea dyed papers here. So we've got a couple there. So what we need to do next is to actually cut them down to size. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to literally just get my pencil and measure where the paper starts and finishes, and I'll do that for all of them. And then we'll get the ruler and we'll just rip the pages we're going to be using into the journal as well. I hope that makes sense. So how is everyone today? Hope you're all keeping well. I'm feeling so much better today. Yeah, so I do apologize if yesterday's video wasn't that good at all. You know, it's just one of those things really where I wanted to actually, do a video and crack on with things, just show up, but I just wasn't well enough, and so that probably reflects in the video itself. So here we go. So I've only got 3 here, which I'm planning to mix up into these pages we've created the other day in the other video. So now all we're going to do, and you don't have to have exact measurements, is we're going to take one sheet at a time, and we're literally just going to go into where the marks are, where I've just marked up the papers, and rip the excess off. And we can use these strips for other projects, which I will show you, or which will come up and come in my videos. The other thing I wanted to mention while I'm doing this is the fabric packs. So I will show you a fabric pack today because I've managed to pull out a couple, so I will do that. And they're the fabric packs, Indian fabric packs, which you can actually purchase from my Etsy store. So hopefully I won't forget to show you in this video. So let's see, shall we, what happens. Videos can be unpredictable. You have some kind of plan for the video, and then you forget to mention a few things or to show a few things, and I guess that happens. That's just life, isn't it, really? It's not a big deal. So there you go. That's some tea-dyed papers. I love this one. This was actually some stenciling I must have done on this tea-dyed paper. I'm just going to take you closer up. That's probably too close. You can see that. I think that's really pretty. I'll turn it this way so it fits on the screen. So yeah, and that's just a plain tea-dyed paper. So I'll take it back out again. And then we've got one more to do. This is quite thicker, this paper, so I must have printed on thicker paper, and that's just copied paper. But this one's quite thick. And it doesn't matter which papers you use, in your journal or junk journal. I think this is going to be more of a junk journal potentially, but I'm not sure because I'm using different papers anyway. So it could be that. So I'm going to finish off doing that. I'll put those scraps of paper to one side. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure which way round this one goes because it's got, I'll show you again. So writing on there, Gujarati writing, I think, and I can't read Gujarati, read or write it, so yeah, so I'm not sure which way around it goes, but what I'm going to do is try and match it up to this one, the text page, and see if I can kind of see which way around it, because I think it's this way around. Okay, we'll just say it's this way around. Let's just pretend I'm right. Okay, so let's put those together. So we've got our pages, and we don't have to figure out this particular moment in time which order to put the pages in yet, because the next thing we want to do is to actually create the binding paper. And so what you need to do for that, in fact, what I was thinking of doing, I was going to use this as my cover, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use this as my cover now. Shall I use this as my cover? I don't know. Shall I? Yeah, maybe I should. Okay, so I won't use this then. You need to have some more paper. In fact, the strips that we've just pulled off, we can use as the binding paper. You could use fabric as well, but it just might be a little bit tricky. And I was going to use fabric, and then I kind of decided against it. So I'm going to use this paper, I think, here. So let's use that. Okay. Now, I need to look at the amount of papers I've got, and I need to look at the actual length of the strip of paper I'm going to use. Okay, so we're going to actually, this should have been wider actually. It would have been better. It would have been a lot better if it was wider, because what we're going to do is, I'll show you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold the paper. So let me just move these out of the way and hopefully you can see, and I'm just going to take you in a little bit closer. So there's your strip of paper, and what you're going to do is you're going to fold it about, well, it depends on, you know, how wide the strips are. So this is round about 1 inch, just over 1 inch, so it's almost 3 centimeters. Is that right? Yeah, it's just 1 inch. So I'm just thinking, because this is going to go into that, okay, and it's going to slot into that. So that's the plan. So Meg's journals, which is where I got this concept from, she just used one piece. She used 2 pieces of 2 strips of paper, and she put them together like that, or this way around, whichever way. And then she created the folds doing that method, but I'm going to do it slightly different. So let's just kind of have our own spin on things. So we want that one. So you're just going to kind of do a fan effect, and you need to make sure that the creases are in the right way. So we're just going to fold it like that. So back and forth is what we're planning to do. And you have to get it kind of precise when it comes to this. And you'll notice why actually. I've had a couple of goes at this, and then I think it's second time round I got it right in terms of getting the creases in the right places, because it can make a difference to the outcome of the no-sew method. So you're just going back and forth. So you've got this fan effect like that. Okay, and this one here goes like that. And what you want to do is make sure, from what I can remember, so it's not perfect. There we can see that's not perfect, and you know what, it's okay. I could have used my scoring board actually to get the perfect creases and the perfect peaks in there, but I've chosen not to. So, you know, sometimes we don't have these, you know, scoring boards and things, and so we'll go with that. So we're going to go, it's going to go this way around. So the last fold I need to do is this. Okay, so there's that. And to be honest, I think the last fold does need to go upwards, okay, because when you start binding these in, it's going to actually go in like that. Okay, so what we're going to do, and this is a bit of a risk because I've used really super thin paper, textbook paper, and I'm going to make some slits in here for this to go through, for the strip of paper to go through, the binding strip to go through. So what I'm going to do is I need to make sure that I've got enough, right? So let's have a look and see if the other strips are any good that we just cut off. Could do it that way. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that one in, okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it. So first of all, what I need to do is to glue that extra little piece I've got there onto the next piece, and we're going to continue the folding. Okay, so what have I got? I'm just going to use this UHU glue. So it's not wet glue, it's dry glue. This is a really good glue stick actually, and I need something underneath my mat, don't I? So what have I got to use underneath here? I've got some wipes, so I'll just do it on my board. Don't do this, and make sure you've got some scrap paper or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is the right way round, which it isn't. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to add the next strip onto that little end piece there. Just crease it again. So I'm just going to zoom it out. So I've just done that. Okay, so I've added. So there's a continuation of the first strip. Okay, and then we're going to continue the folding. So like that. Make sure you're in camera and make sure it's another dull day in the UK, just to let you know. And even though I've got all the lights on to make sure the video is not too dark, it's still fairly dark, and I'm not sure what to do about that. So if you've got any tips, then do let me know. Like I said, I've got 2 ring lights, not the most powerful ring lights, but you know, you would have thought they would have done the job, but hey ho. Talk about hey ho, I'm going to show you my Christmas Indian fabrics. It's the Christmas collection fabric pack, which I'm going to try and show you today if I remember. Okay, so we've got that, and you need to make sure that your 2 end pieces are actually upwards. Okay, so we've got that one going up there, and then that one there, and then that one's also sticking up. Okay, so because I'm going to have the strip that way. Okay, so you've got 1 piece there. Then I'm going to use, because I should just use 1 strip, I'm going to go for 2 strips because I think these are quite thin. And that's my glue bottle. And I should have done this in advance. I should have measured out the strips, but I didn't, so that's okay. And this one's quite thin, so let's go for something that's the same size. This one's kind of okay, so let's just do that. Let's go for that. So again, we're going to do the same folds. So I'm going to use this first one that has my template, and I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but we better try. Just give it a try, shall we? Yeah, I think that's right. So you've got your first fold in, and you're just going to go back and forward like a concertina. Okay. So, and that's the other thing. Has anyone actually created a concertina notebook or journal? I'd love to do that. I think I've done a small version of that. They're really fun to make. So perhaps we could have a go at creating a concertina notebook or journal. And journals don't have to always be about, or junk journals don't have to always be about writing your thoughts or ideas or whatever, or it could be. You could do your artwork in them as well. So I've got that one ready. And then I've got a little bit left here on the side. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to get my scissors and cut that off. So I'm just going to, I'll get you closer. So I'm just going to, because I've got a little strip there. You can see that. I'll just put the light on the camera, and I'm just going to draw a line and cut that little piece off. So let's get my paper scissors and cut that off. I'm in frame. There we go. And I'm going to take you back out. Sorry about this. See you back in. There you go. Put you up high, and I'll just get you a little bit closer. So that's your first piece, and then we're going to move on to your second strip. This time I'm going to have to glue all of that down like that. Yeah, so I'll have to glue that bottom piece to that piece there. But I need to make sure, actually, that this piece is facing up. So like on this side, which means if I do that, okay, I'll just have to glue it like that. Okay, so the second strip goes onto that. So it's just an extension. So again, bit of glue. Make sure you get all the sides, and just place that on. When Meg did it, when Meg actually showed her on Meg's journals, her channel, she did a grand job and her video is fantastic. She's got fantastic instructions. I'm just following her method but having my own little spin on it, because like I said, she just used one strip to go across. So we're going to fold this up and we're going to keep folding onto this new added strip to create that concertina look. Okay, so back and forward is all you're doing. So this is a really good binding method, especially if you know, want to actually change things up a little bit and not sew in your signatures. You just want something that's super easy to do. You can choose this method. So what we're going to do now is it should be really in line. Mine isn't. I did try. I did get it right the second time round. This last time, it's usually the third time you get it right, and this time I haven't. I need to make sure that's not sticking on. So all I need to do is make sure that my end strips are actually facing up. So I've got a little bit of excess there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, yeah, I'm going to take that off. So let's just cut that small strip off. There we go. Okay. So just cut it off. So then you've got this. All right. So now all I need to do is to make sure that the strips are the same length. Now I've got one longer than the other. And the other thing you need to do is to make sure, and I should have said this from the beginning, make sure that your strips of paper, you create enough peaks for the amount of papers you want to put in. So I might have to take some of mine out now. So let's just go back out again. So you can add in, so that will be your, you don't count the first piece because that's going to be wrapped around your page. But this is what you count. So you've got one peak there, that's one. One page that you can put in. It's 2, that's 3, and that's 4, and that's 5, and that's 6. So really, once you've counted your sheets of paper, that's the number of peaks you need to create. Okay, so I've got 6 there, and I need to see how many papers I've got. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8. So I need to now choose which ones I'm going to put in. So I think I'm going to go in for, let's have a look. I'll take those ones out. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've chosen 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go for that one because I really like that one. 5, and then the last one I can go for is, I'll go for a plain one, I think. Okay. In fact, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go for this one because this is the one I like. This is the one with the stencil on there. So we'll do that. And so now, before I start putting them into the order that I want them in exactly, you've got your 2 strips, okay, like I said, and one shorter than the other. So hold on a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've only got 5, so I have to take another one out actually because this one's a little bit shorter. But I could add on here, couldn't I? So I could do that if I really wanted to. Let's see if I've got another strip which I can use. Yeah, so you see the strips that have come off papers that we actually tore down to size have become quite useful. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add on actually to this. So before I continue, I'm going to add that one, an extra strip to this one here. So let's do that. Okay, and maybe I need to cut this to size. So I'm just going to glue that on, and then you can cut it down to size because it's a little bit bigger. And we can do that once I've done the folds, I guess. Right, so I'm going to do move that a little bit over. Okay, so we're just going to fold again. I'll just fold these in a minute. There we go. So I'm making it probably more complicated than it is, but once you get the hang of it, it is super easy. So I'm just going to see how many peaks I've got on this one now, because I've got more on the other one. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll just cut this one. 2, 5. Yeah. Make sure this is the right way round as well. Okay, so I'm just going to use this one as our template because it's had more peaks in it in the first place, so I can have some more pages on. So yeah, so we need to cut it there actually, so let's cut that there, then that's perfect. So I do apologise forever, don't I? But I do apologise if my voice disappears at times and you can't hear what I'm saying. It's a little bit muffled. I do have a what do you call it, a speaker, but unfortunately it doesn't actually fit in with my iPhone, so it's not compatible is the word I'm looking for, so I can't actually use it. So yeah, I used to use it on my Samsung phone, but I don't use it anymore. Okay, so now, so we've got our peaks, we've got our binding strips here, and I've got 2. She only used 1, like I said. And like I said, you need to make sure, so you got your peaks and valleys here. So the peaks are where the papers are going to slip into, okay? And then you need to make sure that that's facing upwards. You've got 2 end pieces facing upwards because that will be your end attachment pieces. Okay, so we're just going to count again, make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they are different colours, obviously, shades. That would have been good, wouldn't it? In fact, you know what? I'm going to use, oh no, because I want this to be on the outside. That's going to be on the inside, yeah. Yeah, oh, and the other thing I had to do was to cut that excess bit off, so let's do that, shall we? Let's just get our scissors in there. I can see where it's a little bit on the overflow side. Just put that in the bin. And then you have your binding strips. Okay, so the next part, so I'm going to put this over here, is the thing I haven't done is actually inked my papers up yet, but what I'm going to do is ink them up at a later stage. Could be my next video, because we could, like I said, we wanted to decorate this anyway, so we could do that. So we could just focus on actually me showing you how I bind this using the sew method. And I will put Meg's journals, her video that I saw to this method in my description box. Okay, so so the next thing we want to do is, first of all, put our lid back on our glue stick because we don't want that to dry, do we? So yeah, okay. Now we need to measure. First of all, we need to make sure that the papers are all up the right way round. Okay, so make sure, yeah, all the up way round, right way round, and yeah, they'll all be right way round. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I need 6. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I need to make sure that I start putting them in order, that I'd like to see them in. So I'm just going to go for I think I'm going to use this as my first page actually. I think I am. Yeah, let's do that. And then we're going to go for this one here. I'm just going to put the light up again and perhaps put you closer. Hope you can see. I apologise for me fiddling around too much. And then we can do this. So that one there, and then that one there. Yes, let's do that. I think that's really pretty. Okay, right. So now these are all in order. I need to now measure, get one of my strips, okay, and measure where the holes are going to go. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball this on my first page. So actually, let's see. Yeah, so let's just put one there. So I'm going to, oopsie daisy, I'm going to mark off where I want to put it. So I'm using a guesstimate really in a way. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Just need to make sure I've got enough gap from the top to the bottom. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, I think. I'm going to change the first marking or where I want to put the slip in. So I just want the same gap there at the top. So I'm just going to shoot this across that way a little bit. And I'll just put a mark in it. So I've got 2 marks now. Okay, then all I'm going to do now is you can fold it over like this and you can create your slits, okay? What I'm not going to do because they're not equal on here is I'm going to get my box cutter. You don't need to use the box cutter. You can use a pair of scissors. And I'm just going to go into the slits, okay? And then just, ooh, I went a little bit too much. Okay, so I've created a slit right there. Okay, you can see that. And then I'll do another one and then I'll show you. She did it a little bit different to me. So yeah, and if the slit, if you find that the paper's not going through, your strips of paper not going through, your binding strips, then you can make the hole a little bit bigger, okay? So I'm just gonna show you how this works, okay? And just deciding which one to put in first. I think I'm gonna put this one in first. And we're gonna go this way because I want that to show, not that this will show, but the rest of it will disappear. So we're just going to get a piece of paper and all we're going to do is we're going to pinch that actually and we're going to slide it through. And I'm really struggling here, you can see, but there you go. Okay, so that's your first paper. And then you're going to get your second strip. Don't forget you need the folds going outwards because you need to bind them up towards the end, and then you slide that one through. So make sure you've got them creased up. So just give a good old crease again, and then see if we can pop it through. Let's see. This one's not playing ball with me. Why are you not playing ball? Okay, so I can see that the strip needs to be a little bit bigger. I'm not sure. And I'm just going to go back in with that. And try and slide that one through. It's not going through still. That's why measuring is important. So yeah, but it's okay. Okay, so let's just put our strips like that. So there you go. So you got your first page in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same for others. Okay, so I'm going to just show you what I do. I'm going to take you in a little bit. Okay, so you've got your marks there. And what you could do is you could get your ink, which is what I'm going to do. So just bear with. if I can find my ink, that is. I actually found my inks. So I'm going to get my ink. Let's just use. So I've got these distress inks. So let's just use. I've got the smaller ones as well. I can find the small ones I can. Okay, so yeah, the small one. Okay, so I am back with the, this is the Tim Holtz The Ranger Distress Ink. This is Black Soot. Can you see that? Okay, so I got these from Amazon in a set of 5, I think, or 4. So I'm just going to mark off so you can see what I'm doing as well. It's probably a good idea, especially if you're using paper that's quite light. And you're not going to see this necessarily, and you just want to lightly mark it with the ink as well. So you're just going to go in and you're going to mark it off like that. Okay, the peaks. Mark off the peaks so you can see where your papers are going in. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. So that's it there. Can you see that? There we go. So I've just marked them off like that. Okay, both of these strips of paper. So like I said, she just used one strip in the middle to bind her papers in together, and I've decided to use 2. So we need to mark off the other. So I just need to take this one off and use that as my template. So I'm going to take that one off again. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. That came off quite easy. Put those to one side, and I'm going to mark off the others as well. So let's just see. I'm going to use this method and see if that works, right? So this one was here. Not sure if this is going to work entirely. In fact, I don't think it will do. So I'm just going to take one sheet off at a time. So let's just go back to basics, shall we? And get close to the edge of where the markings need to be, so you can make your slits for your papers to go through. So there we go. There's one there. Okay, let's just do all of them, shall we? So let's get that one. You use the same. I'm using the same page again to mark off the lines. And this time I've got lined paper, so isn't that cool? So just there and there. And yeah, that's quite thick. This one. So like I said, this is super thin paper, this one. So in hindsight, I kind of wish I doubled up the paper, because it is really nice paper. Or I used sticker paper. But it's always good to have a go, and then you can always find ways of rescuing things which are not kind of working out because of the materials you've started to use in the first place, and that's a learning curve, isn't it, with this? So just approximate, and don't worry, I'll tidy up all these little edges at the end as well. And there's one more to go, I think. Yes, there is. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a lovely day today, even though it's not a sunny day, but as long as we're creating, I think that always makes us happy, right? So now what we're going to do is put all the slits in. Okay, so now I've messed up the order of my papers, but it's okay. So I'm just going to go along here. Actually, I don't need to, because I can see where my marks are, and I'm hoping you can as well. I'll just get you closer if I can. Let's see. Oh, that's too close. So there we are. So that's the first mark I've made there, and I'm just going to go down. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crease this, because I can't actually see where line is, so it's a good idea to use a bit of it on the side. It does help. Let's open this up and let's create our lines or slits. I mean. Oops. Okay. Oh, do you know what's happened here? It's because I've used masking tape. So it's taken a little bit longer. So I don't think this is going to work actually. So what I'm going to do is go to plan B and I'm going with my scissors. So let's do that. Did I use masking tape on here? Oh, I didn't think I did actually. So I'm going to fold the paper and guesstimate where the slit is. Okay. So it kind of went through. Okay, oh my gosh. I created a little bit of a boo-boo there, but it's okay. Let's see if I can use the Stanley knife or the box cutting knife again. Let's see if that works. I'll use it on the second one. Maybe the blade's blunt, or I didn't press hard enough. I thought it was down to the fact that I'd used masking tape, but no, this one has gone through. So that's a bit weird. I feel that needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so there's that one. Now, let's use the one with the masking tape on it, because that actually might, even though we've strengthened up the paper, I'm not sure this is going to work. And first of all, silly me, I need to get the ink on there so I know where I'm going at. Making a mark, and just make sure my lines are clear. So yeah, let's just go in with that. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually going through the masking tape. You just got to be a little bit careful with thin paper. So, you know, next time, like I said, I probably need to. So that's my second mark there. I can see where I've drawn the line across. I'm just going to go down. Okay. So we've got our holes there, slits. And we've done that one, I think. We need to do the next one. Oh, which way? Oh, he's playing games with me, this one. So let's do the inking up again. And where is my ink? Yeah, I'm going to ink where the lines are, or where the slits need to go, shall I say. And then I'll get my box cutter, like I said, or you can use Stanley knife, or you can use scissors. Using scissors, then make sure you've kind of measured accurately, so then you're folding it in the right way at the right point for you to make those slits. Otherwise you can, your slits might be larger than what you intended them to be. So there's that. Some of these I might have to go back into because I think the slits might not be big enough, but we can do that. We've got 2 more to do, folks, so we're on 38 minutes, and that's probably because I was faffing around actually. So she did it, Meg did it a lot quicker than what I'm doing this at. But as soon as I saw the video, I thought I've got to have a go at this. It's one of those, isn't it, where you watch something and you think, oh, let me have a go and see what happens. And it's never going to be, you know, like theirs, but it's your own, and that's the thing, isn't it? You can copy someone's idea, but yours will always turn out completely different to theirs. So, you know, whether it's materials you use or your complete difference in method. So yeah. Okay, so now we're going to put these together, and before I do that, I need to make sure I put them in order again. So what did I have in the front? I think we had this plain one in the front. Then we had it by fold it on with one of these. So let's put that on there. So I'm just going to reorganise the papers again. Put that one there. Then we'll put one of these there, and one of these there, and that. Okay. we've got our papers in order, supposedly. And yeah, that's it. So we're going to go back to our binding strips again, and we're going to start putting these in. I'm just going to close my ink pad. We don't need it right now. Put my scissors away. So I showed you how to do it, didn't I? And we're going to now put the whole thing together. So I'm just deciding what to put the top. I think I'm going to use this one at the top. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So let's grab one paper at a time. Let's put these over here. So like I said, you get your strip, make sure that the peak is up there, and you've got the strip which goes over, so you don't do anything with that until the end. Okay, so I'm going to find that slit, and I bet I've done this the wrong way around in terms of papers, the wrong way around again or something. I'm going to pop this through. It shouldn't be this difficult. Okay, that was a lot better. I went through straight away. And we're going to get the other one at the same time, actually. So your second strip, okay, because I've got two binding strips on mine. And I need to make sure that this is the right way around. Yeah. So we're going to put this one through as well. Okay. Okay, so that's one paper, and then what I might do is do another one, and then I might have to fast forward this video for you, so you're not spending too much time watching me do this. Okay, so we're going to put this one in next. There we go. There we go. So that one goes in like that. Okay, let's just make sure we're on the right path. Yep. All in line. The role-playing ball. So we're going to put this one in next. And feeding this one through. There we go. It's getting easier as you carry on putting the papers in. It gets a lot easier. I think you kind of develop the knack for it. Right? Yeah, I did. So let's put this one through. Now this one, I thought it was going to be a bit of a challenge because of the masking tape, but it did go in fairly quick. And you can kind of manipulate the paper a little bit to make it go through. Okay, it's not painful. Just make sure you push it all the way through. That one's done, and then this one next. So we're almost there, folks. Almost there. There we go. That one's done there. And then, maybe it's put slit in this one. So I need to do that now, don't I? Yeah, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. So let's do that. So let's just put that to one side. Let's get our little inky friend out and ink up the area where the slits are, so we can see to create the slits with. So I'm just inking that up as I showed you previously, and let's cut into, make sure they're nice and the right way around. Yeah. Okay, so be careful when you're using these because these are sharp. I've actually cut myself a couple of times with this box cutting knife. So scissors are probably the better option, probably more safer. I'm going to flatten this down a bit and cut into the middle of that. Yeah, I think that should be it. Always close your knife. We're finished. Okay, let's see if I can seal it. And I'm going to pull that through. Just give it a little tug if it's not going through. If you can't be bothered to go back in and create a bit of a bigger slit. That one's a little bit tough, but I did kind of get it through. Okay. And there you go. So let's just make this look a bit more presentable. So what you're going to do is, obviously you put all your papers in, and then if you've decided you want to add more, you just continue with your strips on both sides, and you can add more papers in. So you can get the process started and then get a feel of it, and then kind of leave it at that point, and then finish it off when you want to add some more papers in. So you could go down that road as well, to be honest. So what I'm going to do now is, what you would do is, once you've decided these should be, you can see gaps in them, but you just need to push them. Once you start gluing them in, the flaps in, then the gaps should potentially disappear. And if they're not disappearing, it's because of the measurements. That's probably why. Okay, so you've got all your pages in. So there you go. So that's going to go in like that. Just push this in a little bit. Like I said, it's only paper, so you can manipulate it. So you've got your front and back, and that's your kind of notebook and journal. Let's have a look. So let's just take you in a bit. Oh, that's too close. So there you go. So you just, so let me just flick through. So first of all, you would then, if you wanted to finish it there, you could finish it there, and then you could add your cover on there if you wanted to on top of that. And then what you would do is you glue those pieces down. Okay, so that's where your kind of binding comes in. So you glue them down this way, not that way, this way. Okay, so you glue them down onto this page, and then you've got one there that's already, yeah, and then you miss one, and then you have another one, so you bind that down like that. So it will go this way, and then you'll have one without this binding bit. So it skips one and then goes back to them. So then again, you can glue that down there, and glue that down there, and there's your last piece there, and you'll glue that one down there, those two at the bottom. Once you get the last piece, it still continues. You've got another one at the back, and then you've got your back strips as well to glue those down with, and that is it. That's your no-sew binding method. And it's kind of, it is straightforward, even though I've probably made it look a little bit complicated. What I did with this one is I did the one strip method on here, as you can see. So let me just zoom you out a little bit. So one strip method there, and then I just went back in with some clear tape. It's kind of like concealed that way. And if I just show you inside this one, I'm just going to take this out. So let's just take all this out a second. Oh yeah, so I actually added another cover on to my back piece, which is falling off, so I need to glue that back on. So I added this cover on, so you can add a cover onto it. These are just envelopes I created for this, and then there we go, and that's what it looks like. So I've glued it down on here, and because I used coffee dyed paper, what I did do is stamped the binding areas, so I could do the same for the one we've just created. I could go in and I could stamp that just to make that look a little bit more prettier than what it is. So I could kind of go in with my inks and dye them a little bit, and then add some stamps on them, and that looked really good. And you can use different papers, like I've used book pages on this one, and then tea dye papers on here as well. So yeah, so there you go. So there's that one. I'm just gonna get the light on there. So yeah, so that is the no-sew method. I hope you've enjoyed that. What we'll do is we will finish this off in another video. I just wanted to kind of get this one done so you knew how to go ahead with the papers that you created with the texture paste. And then what we'll do is we'll glue those down. I'll do that in my next video, and then we'll create a cover, and then we'll start embellishing it. Okay, so I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Oh, I forgot to show you the fabric pack, didn't I? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because we're running out of time, I'm going to show that to you in the next video. I do apologise, I keep saying that, don't I? But I do apologise for that. So I'll show you that in the next video, or probably the video after that. I'll see. I will show you, I promise. But my Etsy link, shop link, is in the description box below, where you can see, you can click onto the shop link and you'll see the different fabric packs on there. So yeah, so that's that. And don't forget to obviously like this video, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, have a fantastic day and I'll see you all soon. Take care, folks. Bye bye. Mwah.